Alright, welcome to episode 3 of Drone Blocks. In this episode, we're going to take a closer look at drone blocks. So first of all, let's make sure that we have the right blocks. So you can see up in the right hand corner, it says connect to Tello. If it says connect to DJI in your block, go ahead and click the 3 blue stripes in the right hand corner. And then on the bottom, where it says on my screen DJI blocks, it should say Tello blocks on that. If that's the case, go ahead and click it and make sure that you are on the Tello blocks. In my case, it says DJI blocks, so I'm good to go. Alright, now let's look at the interface. So you can see we have a blank screen right now, and then on the left hand side, we have a bunch of blocks. One says takeoff, navigation, flip, loops, logic, math, variables, and land. So if you click on each one of those blocks, it's going to give you different options. The takeoff just has a takeoff in it. Navigation has several different options for you to do. Flips, that's just your front flip, back flip, and so forth. You have a loop block that you can use. You have a logic block, and we'll talk about logics later on down the road. You have a math block, and these math blocks, they're going to come in handy with your logic blocks and your variables. However, you can see your variables doesn't have anything in it. That's because you have to create a variable that you then later on add. And we'll look at that later on down the road when it comes to advanced coding. And then we have our land. The land also has land for 5 seconds and then take off and just a regular land button. Alright, let's start off with just a simple code, and I'm going to walk you through the drag and drop system. It is the same as Scratch on the principle. So first of all, we have to take off, right? So we grab the takeoff block and drag it into the middle. Now let's say after takeoff we want to navigate. So let's say we want to fly forward. So on the fly forward, you can see we have 20 inches. Now, just to let you know, when you come to our competitions, we are actually using Scratch, and the only difference between drone blocks and Scratch is that Scratch is actually in metric and drone blocks can be in both. So let's swap that around right away. So if we press again on the right hand corner that I just did, the blue buttons, you can see we have switched to metric units. You want to hit that. Once you hit that, now all the navigations will be in metric. So let's go back to navigations and you can see that. Alright, but we already dragged in fly forward. So, since that's in inches, we can go ahead and grab it, drag it, and on the bottom you see a trash can. You can put it into the trash can. You can see the lid opens and release, and that block is gone. So let's click on the navigation, and again, we want to fly forward. And you can see now we have it in centimeters, right? So what if we want to fly further than 20 centimeters forward? Well, all you got to do is go ahead and click on the 20. And you can see there comes a change value block up. So on here, you can change the value. If I just click the delete, I delete the value, and we want to go about 100 centimeters forward. I'm going to click OK. So you can see I changed the value. So now after we fly forward, we're just going to do a flip just for the fun of it. So a forward flip, and then we're going to pull in the land button. Alright. So that's basically how you code. Now let's say I want to actually turn right before I do my flip. Well, instead of redoing the entire code, what you can do is you can separate the blocks right there. And then you can add another navigation. And you can say, I want to fly right 20 centimeters. And you can add the rest back on. So you can see it's just a simple drag and drop system. There are other options that you can do. For example, if you hold a block long enough, up in the left hand corner, you can see different things that you can do. You can duplicate, you can add a comment to it. If you have more complicated codes, you might want to add a comment to it. You can disable or delete the block as well. But we don't worry about that right now. So here's one more thing to note on drone blocks. I'm just going to drag this over here a little bit. So when we go and we again hit the two blue buttons, there is a comment in there that says show mission code. If you click that, in the background you can actually see the code that is being used in the background. So you can see we have our blocks, takeoff block, right? And here's our takeoff block with our parenthesis. And we have our fly forward with our units of measurement and our unit that we want to fly forward. Same as the fly right button, flip forward and land. So you can see actually how it's written in JavaScript code in that case. Alright, so if you want to close that, just go ahead and click on the blue bars again and say hide mission. So this is it for episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and it's gonna give you a quick insight on how to code and how to use the drag and drop system. In the later episode, we're gonna go over saving missions and logic functions and further coding. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next episode.